Ukraine is one of the most remarkable places in recent years with its richness in places to visit. The capital Kiev, Lviv with its European air, Odessa and Kharkiv by the sea, and Lutsk are in Ukraine one of the most important cities on the list of places to visit. Many of us have beautiful women in mind, located in this unique country of Eastern Europe, with such a beautiful nature, cultural, and with its historical heritage. It also deserves to remain in the memory. In this video, you can expand your horizons about this unique country by browsing the list of places to visit in Ukraine. You can double it. Create this year's travel plan. Kiev, a city where it is forbidden to cut down trees. Kiev is among the places to visit in Ukraine with its decadent nature, parks and interesting architecture it's leading. In addition to locals and tourists, All Freedom Square, which is also the meeting point of events and festivals, is located in the interior architecture of the entrance gate of the city. There are many things to see and visit, from the Golden Gate to the Kiev Museum, which was built as the hosting spot. Mikhail Bulgakov Museum is definitely worth a see, but undoubtedly the most important in Kiev structure is the Second World War Museum. Golden Gate is one of the most important architectural and historical monuments, and it is located in the southern western part of ancient Kiev. You can see the panoramas Kiev from its observation point. When the weather is fine, you can come up to the Motherland Shield. The sculpture was built in 1981 in the USSR times. You can see the city and breathe in some fresh air on a walking tour. The Dnieper River cruise is a romantic trip with delightful views and a truly relaxing holiday. Your personal guide that will accompany you on a journey will tell you many interesting stories and make sure that your cruise is as comfortable as possible. Cossacks believe that every guest is sent by heaven, so they met the travelers very cordially, fed them, and gave the best place to rest. The Mamaeva Sloboda is also a quiet corner of nature in the heart of a large city. Here you can walk among the greenery of gardens and meadows. Kiev Micro-Miniatures Museum Tour is a journey beyond the human limits. Unique exhibits which can be seen only through magnifying glass were created by the master Nikolai Siadristi and are stored in the museum on the territory of the Kiev-Peczersk Lavra. Lviv became the capital of Ukraine after the World War II. It is the most beautiful consolation prize it has ever received. From Russians to Galicians, from Austrian people, it draws attention to the fact that it is the land of many sovereigns from the past to the Poles. Lviv had the good fortune of escaping major destruction in the Second World War, and its position on the trade routes between the Black Sea and Central Europe furnished it with more beautiful architecture than you can hope to get through in one visit. Against St. George's Cathedral, walls painted a pale yellow, there are lavish Rococo pilasters, sculptures, balustrades, and highly ornate moldings. Market Square heaves with locals, tourists, and street performance, and the amount to see on this one plaza is almost overwhelming. This is the most impressive on the dome, lit by an octagonal lantern, and with 36 panels of sculptures representing prophets, angels, the apostles, and Jesus. The age of the building is clear as soon as you cross the threshold, as the ceiling is painted with images evoking earth, water, fire, and air, the bodies for humors. On the tour you'll get to know the strange medicines prescribed for ailments centuries ago. The exhibition spans 1,000 years in 30 countries and has blades and firearms that increase of varying sophistication. Many of these pieces were crafted to be seen and come encrusted with precious stones and inlaid with ivory and mother of pearl. Sadly, the castle is a ruin today, and there is not much left apart from a wall. But the journey is all about the view and the vegetation at the top. Come just at sunrise in summer and you may have it completely to yourself. Lviv's resplendent opera house is one of the city's symbols and stands alone on Freedom Square. Laid to rest here, Polish and Ukrainian members of the clergy, politicians, military leaders, scientists, architects, soloists, aviators, surgeons, and painters. Once a casino and now an events venue for the Regional Union of Education and Science, the House of Scientists is a shining piece of turn-of-the-century architecture. The architecture is in a plush, neo-Baroque style and famed for the opulence of its interiors. Due to its geographical location, the eye throughout history, Odessa, which stands in front of and welcomes different cultures, is also culturally diverse today. It stands out for being a port city that exhibits. The construction of Odessa National Opera and Ballet Theatre lasted 3 years and was completed in September 1887. On October 1, 1887, the audience filled the hall for the first time. Odessa Beaches, along the coastline of the Black Sea, is a favorite place for relaxation among both the locals and the international tourists. There are a number of beaches in Odessa, surrounded by cozy restaurants and cafes, so that you can quickly grab a bite after a long day at the beach. Did you know that there is no metro in Odessa? Because the major part of the city stands over the underground labyrinths of catacombs. One of the most famous travel attractions in Odessa is definitely the Potemkin stairs. You will definitely enjoy the performances of the street musicians and take a lot of cool pictures. The most interesting places in Odessa are located near the main street, so it's a must-visit place when you travel to Odessa. Odessa cuisine is a kind of mixture of different national dining traditions, like Greek, Jewish, Russian, and Moldovan. If you ever decide to explore the Odessa courtyards, don't be surprised to see a monument to the inventor of Esperanto next to the washing line with laundry. To understand better the spirit and significance of this Odessa attraction, you can take a local guided tour. Odessa's largest and oldest open-air food market dates back to 1827, when goods were sold from horse-drawn carts. Today, this teeming market on Privozna Street is the ideal spot to buy spices, fresh vegetables, and homemade Ukrainian snacks. Once you've tasted the wine and cognac, you can decide which one you want to take as a souvenir to your loved ones. Odessa Nightlife is one of the best experiences, I believe. You guys just need to know where to land. Central Odessa has some bars and pub-style cafes along with Deribasovskaya Street, which is one of the best in the entire city. Deribasovskaya Street is the most famous and unique street. One can have fun, especially at night. The scientific institutes it hosts, its sophistications in terms of museums, universities, libraries, and theater buildings. Kharkiv is a student city. Kharkiv suffered great damage during World War II. However, it was able to recover quickly and decisively. This is one of the details that makes this city very special. A few minutes up from the center is a 130-hectare park that has a few days out rolled into one. Everything is sheltered in clean woodland, and during the summer holidays there are live shows for kids on the stage. By the Lopen River, Kharkiv's Neo-Byzantine Annunciation Cathedral is enormous, and when it was constructed in the late 19th century, it was one of the largest churches in the Russian Empire. Strolling around the park, you'll notice the size and age of the oak trees. They are the remnants of an oak forest that protected the northern approach to the Kharkiv fortress in the 17th century. If you're wondering how a Soviet-era war monument could have such a romantic design, there's a long backstory to explain it. At the time, the secretary of the Regional Communist Party had a long-term unrequited love. After the war, he sent her on a holiday to the Russian resort of Kislovodsk. In a letter, she sent a photo back of a gazebo in Kislodovsk that she had taken a shine to. So when the time came for Kharkiv to build a war monument, he tried to recreate that site for her. Needless to say, this didn't go down very well, and the official disappeared soon after, but the monument is still there. Come by at night when it's illuminated. The Dersprom has 45,000 windows and 17 hectares of glazing. Made from concrete and comprising a number of overhead walkways, it's one of those buildings that requires you to step back to appreciate both its size and the fact that it is completely symmetrical. The cathedral's separate Neoclassical bell tower measures 90 meters in height and was Kharkiv's tallest building until the 21st century. This was built after the Napoleon's retreat as a symbol of gratitude to Tsar Alexander I. With a little more life than Freedom Square, this plaza is roughly where the Kharkiv fortress used to stand in the 18th century and is a place for public gatherings. The museum is one of the largest in its field in Ukraine, and in the collection are weapons, medals, coins, uniforms, paintings, and photographs, all with a focus on the War of Independence and Second World War. Every May and September, you can do something in Kharkiv that you've probably never done before. Ride a train operated solely by children. Through the gates on the west side of Constitution Square hides the beautiful Pokroski Cathedral, Ukrainian national monument and the oldest surviving building in the city. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, and I hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope to see you another day.